Hey guys, welcome back to Funtime XD, and today I'll be reviewing baby cakes. And while I'll be reviewing this episode, I will also be using this. See, it's a puppet. This video is not sponsored by the way. But anyway, let's fucking review this episode. So, what's my opinion on this episode? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I thought this episode was really good. So in this episode, we get to see what it'd be like if Pinkie Pie babysits, which is something we haven't seen before. Because in the beginning of the episode we saw Pinkie Pie kind of taking care of Mrs. and Mr. Cake's babies, and she seemed really irresponsible because the first minute they're born, she immediately just throws them a party, which is definitely not really a good idea because, well, they need their sleep. So we get to see what it'd be like if Pinkie Pie babysits, which is very interesting. And can we also mention that these babies are a menace to society? How the fuck are you doing that? You're babies. So Pinkie Pie tries to take care of them, but as you would have guessed, she did fail, which is not really her fault because the babies are very chaotic. I mean, yes, I do know babies could be hard to take care of the first time you do, but I mean, like, come on. If you've seen the episode, then you know exactly just how chaotic they are. I mean, if anyone tried to take care of them, of course they would fail. But yeah, she does fail, but eventually the babies do listen to her and feel bad for her once she starts crying, and the babies start to obey her. And yeah, that was a very sweet ending. And at the end of the episode, the babies did learn their first word, and the first word was Pinkie Pie. And that moment kind of makes you go, "Aw, it's a really sweet moment." And yeah, this episode was definitely really. This episode is a really sweet one. I mean, like yes, the babies are really chaotic, but at the end it gets really sweet when they start to listen to her. So it's overall a very heartwarming episode. But anyway, now on to the negatives of this episode. So the negatives that I have are very minor, by the way, and it doesn't really affect my enjoyment of the episode. But my first complaint is how can the babies fly? I mean, like in the episode, the babies do fly, and how? I mean, like in one episode, like in the episode where Twilight first gets wings, she doesn't immediately know how to fly. She practiced how to fly, and it's really difficult to fly for her. I mean, when Twilight first got her wings, it took a lot of practicing for Twilight to learn how to fly, and she even crashed a couple times. But these babies, they just learn how to fly just one day after they were born. So that didn't really make sense considering the 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 context. But I mean, like not the context, but judging on how Twilight was when she first flew. And another negative that I have is how can the babies use magic? I mean, like, yes, they are alicorns, so of course they could use magic, but how in the world do they learn? But how in the world do they know right away? I mean, like once again, Trixie did not really know how to use her magic. I mean, like in one episode, Starlight had to teach her how to use magic, and even Twilight was practicing how to use magic a couple of times. But these babies, in the episode, Pinkie Pie traps both of the babies in like a little cage, but one of the babies they just use magic to get out of there. I mean, come on, even Pinkie is surprised on the stuff that they know that Mrs. and Mr. Cake didn't even teach them. But anyway, those are very minor complaints. Overall, this episode is a really good episode. So I'm gonna give Baby Cakes an 8 out of 10. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and remember, always make sure to have fun.